one, if any, of these legendary quarterbacks can represent the AFC in Super Bowl 30. And each is determined to be the first of the trio to bring home the Lombardi Trophy. Kelley and Elway begin their battle tonight. On this first Sunday in September, we come to you from the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. And just on the western edge of Interstate 25, Mile High Stadium itself filled tonight for the 197th consecutive non-strike home game. And tonight, the Buffalo Bills make their first visit to Mile High since 1977 to take on the Denver Broncos. And good evening, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Pat Hayden. Welcome to our coverage of the NFL on TNT in an attractive game. It strikes me, Pat, is so ironic that with the great quarterbacks who came out of that '83 draft, not a one of them has walked away with a Super Bowl ring, and time is running short.
Well, 0-9 for that class of 1983. And John Elway, the boy of autumn who came here from Stanford University in 1983, it's hard to believe that he is now 35 years old and the oldest Bronco. But Vern, in spite of his age and in spite of the fact that he has not won a championship, he is still one of the premier players in the National Football League, a dominating player as well. Now, he's going to be running a new offense tonight, that West Coast offense that Mike Shannahan brought over to him. And they want to have a lot of quick rhythm type of passes. And he says this opening game, the home opener, is a very, very important one. His counterpart, Jim Kelley, coming off a very serious knee injury a year ago, had his left knee operated on. He says he feels very, very healthy. And he is also operating a new offense, kind of a more two-back offense. They want to use Thurman Thomas more as a receiver. They still have some great players on offense, Andre Reed, Thurman Thomas, but it still starts with Jim Kelley.
Well, you know, Pat, we've learned that poor results in this league dictate change. These two teams had poor results last year. 7-9, missed the playoffs. Where do the changes come?
Well, for this team, like most NFL teams, wholesale changes in a lot of areas, unless you win a Super Bowl. It started with coaches. You know, Wade Phillips leaves here. He's now the defensive coordinator of Buffalo. Mike Shanahan's the new head coach here at Denver. But for players, they really focused on defense. I think they feel they have enough offensive firepower to make the playoffs. But the Buffalo Bills will have 5 new defensive players who will start tonight that didn't start opening game last year. And Denver will have 6 new ones. So they feel they can get enough out of the offense. They're not great teams, but they have some major questions on defense.
And we talk a lot every Sunday, it seems, before a game about intriguing matchups to look for. But tonight, I think we've got a couple of matchups that are worthy of the attention.
You know, I actually love the game within the game on these NFL games, and we have 2 very good ones tonight. The first one I want to watch is Bruce Smith against Gary Zimmerman, the left tackle for the Broncos. Bruce Smith is the most dominating pass rusher in the NFL, still has been for the last 5 years. Gary Zimmerman has not missed a start in his career at left tackle for Denver. The other matchup we want to watch is an intriguing one as well. Reuben Brown, the rookie, #1 draft pick out of Pittsburgh, at a Michael Dean Perry, a new addition to this Denver defense. He is an explosive player, a gap player, and I think how those 2 matchups go will really have a large say in how this game turns out.
This game's significant for so many people in this stadium, and among them, obviously, Mike Shanahan, his first game as the head coach of the Denver Broncos, had a head coaching stint that lasted 1 season and 5 games in Oakland, formerly Los Angeles. There's the first reference to the Raiders in which I got both of them.
Done well.
And he was John Elway's quarterback coach here before going to the 49ers. Marv Levy, now 67 years of age, and he's in his 9th season as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Wade Phillips, of course, making a return to this stadium as the defensive coordinator at Buffalo, relieved of his responsibilities as the head coach at the end of last year. Jason Elam will kick off for the Broncos. Buffalo has won the toss, and they'll have a rookie Derek Holmes deep to return the kick, along with number 30, Yonel Jourdain. First time the Buffalo Bills have played in Mile High since 1977. Taken by Jourdain. Good special teams play inside the 15. Nice start for the Denver Broncos. That's Ronnie Bradford, number 23, who made the tackle. Jim Kelley off the knee surgery. Last season led the league in percentage passing, 64%.
And he said the key to this game is make sure we get Steve Atwater blocked. If we can block him, we have a chance of running the football.
Backs in the eye. Thurman Thomas, the deep back. Gardner is the fullback. And Andre Reed is in motion. They'll toss it to Thurman Thomas. He gets a little bit of a brush block from Gardner then. Good defensive pursuit. Stops him at the 16-yard line. Buffalo opens with Reed and Copeland at the wide receivers. A lot of pressure on Lonnie Johnson at tight end. Thomas and Gardner in the backfield. And the offensive line, we will be watching number 79, the rookie Brown, all night. Corbin Lucina, number 68, and John Fina are the tackles. Second down, 7. Kent Hull over the ball at center. Kelley left flat behind the intended receiver, Thurman Thomas. It was tipped. Defensively for Denver, this was a team that was dead last against the pass in the NFL last year. They have made a ton of changes. Williams, the new guys are James Jones and Michael Dean Perry. Simon Fletcher returns at end. Elijah Alexander returns as a starting linebacker. Dante Jones and Britt Hager are new. And in the secondary, which was porous, Ray Crockett, Lionel Washington, Tyrone Braxton, and Steve Atwater. Bill Brooks comes in as a third wide receiver. And there's some confusion over the spot of the ball, so they'll start the game clock again. 25 seconds after the administrative stoppage. 3rd and 7. Four-man rush. Williams getting a little pressure. The pass across the middle is incomplete. Dan Williams with the pressure. It was intended for Carwell Gardner and Britt Hager and Elijah Alexander.
Well, the first part of the test has been answered for this Denver defense. I mean, they were just awful on defense a year ago. As you mentioned, 28th in the league. And they do their job. And the key thing is they got some pressure on Jim Kelley, got the hands up, and deflected a ball as well.
Chris Moore is on to punt on 4th down. Glenn Milburn is back to return it. He's one of the better ones. That's nice and high by Moore. Milburn, no fair catch. He did call fair catch, and he gets the ball at the 45-yard line. So the Denver Broncos take over after the 37-yard punt. John Elway starting his 13th season, his 13th opener. He is 8-4 in season opening games, and that has significance.
Yeah, they actually get to the playoffs 7 of those 8 years when they won that opening day game, Vern. But the thing about him, he has 15 scripted plays, and he was saying to us this week, it allows me to get in the flow of the game, this 15 scripted plays.
That's a carryover from the old 49er days, of course, with Walsh. Elway under his center, Tom Nalen. The rookie Terrell Davis starts at the tailback spot. Elway to throw on 1st down. Bernstein, good block. They go deep for Sharp. Shannon Sharp beat the linebacker, and it's a huge gain to the 6. They picked on Marlo Perry, who's getting his first start tonight. Number 58. And Shannon Sharp at the receiving end of a 49-yard gain.
This is the matchup that they like. They like Shannon Sharp, the tight end, against a linebacker, and you're going to see this a lot tonight. The Broncos are going to work the tight end, and they're going to work their backs downfield because of man-for-man defense. That is a mismatch, and Denver will kill them if they continue to do that. It was Perry against Shannon Sharp.
49-yard gain, 1st and goal at the 6. Inside handoff to the rookie Terrell Davis, a 6th-round draft choice out of Georgia. Terrell Davis tonight becomes the first rookie running back to start for the Denver Broncos on opening day since Floyd Little in 1967.
And he didn't even know who Floyd Little was. But this is your opening drive on the first game of the season. This is exactly how you want it to go. I mean, your defense did their job. You had a big play to your tight end. Now you're right down there inside the 10.
2nd down and goal from the 4. Opening drive for the Broncos. Pritchard in motion. Elway flips it out for Terrell Davis. Good coverage. And that was Jeff Burris, number 22, the defensive back, who was right there. Pass was also, Pat, I think, a little behind Davis.
Yeah, it was. And here in a third down situation, Vern, again, I think this is where Shannon Sharpe becomes a very particularly good and effective receiver. Now, Elway does like to use his cadence to draw guys off on third downs and get a free play. So McCaffrey's one big, tall receiver, and then you got Shannon Sharpe.
Three-step drop. Elway, pressure. Rolls right. He was sacked 55 times last year. Fires it incomplete in the end zone. It was intended for Bernstein. Fourth down.
He was looking for Ed McCaffrey. Good coverage by the Bills. You know, the Bills have come out and played a lot of man-for-man in this opening season. You're going to see, he first looks left to McCaffrey. He is taken away. Then Elway can always buy a second chance. He's been doing this for 13 years now. And a guy comes open quickly. He had too many guys that are actually in the same area. Otherwise, that may have been a touchdown.
Jason Elam on to try the extra point. Tom Ruin will hold. Here's Elam. And a field goal rather than the extra point. I got a little ahead of myself. So the first points of 1995 on the board for John Elam, but John Elway a little disappointed they didn't get 7 instead of 3.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by Coors Light, shipped cold to preserve the clean taste of the Rockies. Grab a silver bullet and let the mountain come to you. Coors Light, tap the Rockies. Buy the officially licensed NFL apparel from Lee Sport, the brand.
Hard to imagine on this first Sunday in September they'll be skiing in those mountains in about 3 months. 90 degrees today at kickoff. Very warm. Shannon Sharpe, a hot receiver on that opening drive.
Well, you know, Mike Shannahan was saying right before the game is that I like the matchups on the inside receivers. He's talking about his backs against their linebackers and tight ends against linebackers and strong safeties. And we saw, you know, evidence of that in the first series with the big play to Sharpe.
Jason Elam will kick off for the second time. This one is going to be taken by Derek Holmes at the goal line. And the rookie running back gets it out to the 20 and is knocked down at the 23. So a little better field position for Jim Kelley and the Bills. Derek Holmes, number 44. And here comes Jim Kelley, second offensive set now for the Buffalo Bills.
And Vern, over the last 4 or 5 years, when the Buffalo Bills have really been good on offense is when they've got Thurman Thomas going early in the running game. He sets up everything else in their offense, but when they struggle with him early on the run, they seem to struggle offensively.
He'll dot the I on first down and 10. Reed and Copeland are the wide receivers. Andre Reed in motion. Defense rotates. Atwater goes over. Here's the flip into the back. And Thurman Thomas scoots around the left side and is knocked out of bounds. Britt Hager doing the defensive job, number 54.
They're going to use him more as a receiver this year. Marv Levy was saying to us yesterday that they felt he's taken too much punishment as a runner. You know, he's averaged over 300 carries a season, I think, over the last 4 years. So they want to spread him out, use him as a wide receiver some, throw more balls to him, and maybe not hand him the ball as much this year.
His yardage each season has decreased in the last 3 years from a high of 1487 in 92 to barely over 1,000 last year. Second down and 8. 3-0 Denver leads. No blitz. Thomas scoots through a little bit of a hole, but they did not block Atwater.
And there's Steve Atwater. Remember we said Jim Kelley felt that they had to block Steve Atwater. Steve Atwater is the free safety, but he plays that position much like a linebacker. Now, if he's up there at the line of scrimmage and tackling Thurman Thomas that close to the line of scrimmage, you have to get him out of there. You have to throw something behind him, Vern, to allow Thurman Thomas to run inside.
Broncos have made a defensive change now. James Jones is out on third down. Shane Dronette, number 99, a former starter, comes in. Cornerbacks played loose on third down out of the shotgun. Kelley across the middle. The hit by Atwater, but the catch by Copeland. Dandy grab by a guy who's really under the spotlight tonight.
Yeah, Russell Copeland, I think, is one of the keys to this Buffalo season. And you know, when you play against Denver, you're going to be trespassing in Steve Atwater's territory from time to time. And he takes it seriously when you do. Now, he punished a running back to play earlier. This time he punishes Russell Copeland. 13-yard game. That's a big play for Copeland.
On first down, they hand it to Thomas, and he squirts right up the middle. Got some great blocks in the middle, led by Kent Hull. And that's a gain of 9 yards out to the 48-yard line.
But Vern, you see just what the pass completion Russell Copeland does. That gets Atwater out of there a little bit and allows Thurman Thomas to use his patient running style.
10:20 to go in the opening quarter. 3-0, and the Bills near midfield. That was a 10-yard gain. It's 1st and 10. And they hand it left side. Thurman Thomas this time knocked down by James Jones, who's back in the lineup on the first down play, number 93. Jones, one of the 2 early acquisitions in the free agent market. He came here with Michael Dean Perry from Cleveland. It was almost like a recruiting visit from college.
That's right.
Michael Shannahan took the 2 of them to a basketball game and said, look, it's a nice lifestyle. We got other sports. They signed.
And they're doing a pretty good job so far. And James Jones is one of those guys that just kind of anchors the middle. He's a big old nose tackle at 290, and he sucks up a lot of blocks.
Both played with Cleveland last few years. Here comes the corner blitz. Atwater coming, Thomas with the block. The pass complete, good for the first down. Second catch for Russell Copeland.
And what did Lionel Washington, the corner for Denver, say to us yesterday? He said, I don't want Russell Copeland to get off to a good start. We've seen Atwater close to the line of scrimmage playing linebacker. We've seen him in the passing game. He comes off the corner. He doesn't get there in the time. Look who picks him up, Thurman Thomas. But Russell Copeland is off to the kind of start that Lionel Washington didn't want. He didn't want him to have the confidence, because this is his first start.
Russell Copeland is starting in place of the departed Don Beebe. Play action. Kelley looking left, now looks down the middle, goes deep for Andre Reed. Touchdown, Buffalo. Oh, what a beautifully conceived play.
Well, he had them both open. You're right. It was beautifully conceived. He had Andre Reed open, and he had Russell Copeland open for both of them for touchdowns. And that takes the crowd out of it very early. Took them 2 drives to do it, but this can be an explosive offensive team. One of the question marks was Russell Copeland, but he has done it on this drive.
Andre Reed got a big smile out of Marv Levy. Reed, fresh from his best year ever, and he's had a ton of them, 7 straight Pro Bowls. 90 catches a year ago. His first in 95 goes for a touchdown. Now Steve Christie, out of Chris Moore's hold, will try the extra point. It's up and it's good. And congratulations from the 2, because Moore is holding in a spot that Steve Tasker normally does. Andre Reed on the receiving end of the touchdown toss of 34 yards. 7-3 Buffalo. There are more than 75,000 seats at Mile High Stadium, every one of them filled, but some a little better than others. Some are really mile high. And those seats are filled with quiet folks right now because the Broncos have fallen behind 7-3. Steve Christie is on to kick off, and the rookie Terrell Davis from San Diego, California, Long Beach State, and Georgia will return it. Davis, touchback, comes out to the 20. And let's go back and take a look at that Jim Kelley, Andre Reed touchdown.
Well, Vern, so often what happens in the NFL, the big play is set up by something that goes on the other side of the field. What I want you to watch here is Russell Copeland. He attracts right here Steve Atwater over here, and that allows Andre Reed to come here with no safety there. It's the play away from the action that really sets up the touchdown. He runs the post. Atwater bites on Russell Copeland. So that was a big series for Russell Copeland as a receiver, and on that play as a decoy and sucking up Steve Atwater.
All of which leads to a 7-3 Buffalo lead. John Elway back at quarterback. Rod Bernstein falls on it. Let's check the men behind John Elway. We mentioned the rookie Terrell Davis. Ed McCaffrey will start tonight for Anthony Miller, the Fleet wide receiver who's out with an injured hamstring. Mike Pritchard on the other side, Shannon Sharp and Bernstein. And the offensive line, they went heavy in the free agent market this year. Schlereth came in, Bodrick Thompson at right tackle, but the real matchup that we want to see is Gary Zimmerman against Bruce Smith. Brian Habib also gets a start. They load up the wide receivers to the right side. 3 of them out there. Second down and 12. Draw play, Bernstein. And Rod Bernstein chugs back for a couple to the 20-yard line. That'll make it 3rd and 10.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about this Buffalo defense. They sure look a lot quicker than they did a year ago. They looked like there was going to be a natural hole there because Bruce Smith kind of rushed upfield. It looked like it was going to be, there's Wade Phillips, the new defensive coordinator, formerly of Denver. But I'll tell you, there's some speed on this defense, and they can get after the passer. 25 sacks in preseason, which is remarkable.
And after only about that many last year. Here's out of the shotgun, Elway. Almost sacked. He almost throws it away, or rather into the arms of Bryce Pop, number 95.
And we said we wanted to follow the matchup with Bruce Smith and Gary Zimmerman. That round goes to Bruce Smith. He caused John Elway to step up into the pocket. Now, he's got an explosive first couple of steps. And you see, Zimmerman, you talk about defensive backs being on an island. He's on an island there. He forces Elway to step up. That disrupted the rhythm of the pass and caused the incompletion, nearly the interception.
Here's the punt from Tom Ruin. Jeff Burris waits for it, has it at the 23. And a modest return out to the 29. A fumble. Loose ball recovered by.
A lot of Broncos are pointing no officials are yet.
Yes.
It always seems to happen, you know?
Yeah, and it becomes a rugby scrum. They're still unraveling the bodies. And there seems to be no joy among the Broncos. Red Cashin is our referee tonight. He's called time with Buffalo leading 7-3. We're midway through the first quarter. A little warm here. Greg Robinson is the new defensive coordinator of the Broncos. Came here from the Jets and came here because there were some serious defensive problems with this team last year, Pat.
Yeah, it was incredible. They gave up 67 plays of 20 yards or greater. I find that phenomenal number, and 17 of those were turned into touchdowns. And he has got an aggressive style. He's going to come after people. He's always been known for turnovers. His teams at the Jets and other places have always forced a lot of turnovers.
Well, his team has given up a 34-yard pass for a touchdown early on here. And can you believe this? In 1995, they've actually tried to start the wave here.
I thought that's passé, isn't it, at this
well,
point?
Things are laid back in my home state now, but you know, somebody hadn't gotten the word. First down and 10. Thomas, and they went for the ball. Didn't get the ball, but got him at the 30-yard line. Marv Levy said he's going to go to the two-back offense because he feels Thurman Thomas has just been carrying the ball too much of the workload. And that'll, I think you said a while ago, Pat, make him much more active in the passing game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the cumulative effect of all the hits you take over a 7-year career, this is now his 8th season, I mean, it can have an effect. It can slow you down. It does slow you down.
Second down and 8, 7-3, Buffalo leads. Backs are split, Kelley back. Good protection. Goes deep. Russell Copeland and Tim Houck, number 37, in as a nickel, came flying. Tim Houck, who is another free agent acquisition. He came over from Green Bay.
Well, we'd say we're going to watch Reuben Brown and Michael Dean Perry as well, the rookie against the veteran. Number 95 is Michael Dean Perry. He's going to get some help there with Ken Hall. And that's the thing you have to do. Generally, you're going to have to double team Michael Dean Perry. And the beneficiary of that for the Bronco defense will be Simon Fletcher, who's been a great pass rusher for a long time here in Denver.
3rd and 8. Shotgun. Bill Brooks in as a third wideout. Flags are down. This may be. Whoops. Oh, boy, they went. Oh. That's always frightening, isn't it?
It is. And Dan Williams actually got blocked into Jim Kelley. And that wasn't a cheap shot.
Dan Williams, who has been oft injured
Before
here.
the snap, false start, right side of the offensive line, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Dan Williams, one-time number 1. He's had a star-crossed career here, 6 surgeries and 1.5 sacks.
Yeah, number 1 draft pick in '93, and You know, Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, said we think this has to be a good year for him. I mean, we have to find out if he can really get it done. They believe he can be a powerful player, and these are the kind of downs you need powerful players. Putting pressure on the quarterback.
3rd and 13. Fletcher dances across and gets back. Kelley pumps and goes deep. Incomplete. Coverage from Lionel Washington. Now in his 13th year, he came here as an unrestricted free agent from the Raiders.
Lionel Washington he is still fast enough in his 13th year to play. But you see how smart, you see him looking in, he's reading the pattern and reading the quarterback. And as soon as he sees a quarterback step up to throw, gives a little jersey tug, and then gets in position to make a perfect play, because that was a great throw and a good defensive play.
Here's the high punt from Chris Moore, and the fair catch called by Glenn Milburn at the 26-yard line. We have 5 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the opening stanza from Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Buffalo Bills lead by 4. Just under 2 seconds under 6 minutes. I was a math major at Texas Lutheran. 5:58 to go in the first quarter, and it's 7-3 Buffalo. John Elway and the Broncos get it back. Their point set up by a 49-yard pass in their first offensive play led to a 22-yard field goal. Reggie McElroy has come onto the lineup in offensive guard now, number 68. Back split behind Elway. They hand it off. Davis comes to the left side. McElroy leading the way.
You know, we were talking to John Elway about number 30, Terrell Davis, and he said, you know, this guy is a mature player. He doesn't act like a rookie. He's not awestruck. He says he's smart. Everything we have asked of him, he's been able to do it. He blocks, he catches, he's a good runner. And Mike Shannahan says he plays special teams like a defensive player. I mean, he makes powerful tackles.
2nd down and 7, back split. Pritchard goes in motion. Draw play to Davis. Bangs it over right guard, and that's going to be close for a first down at the 37. Mark Maddox, number 55, made the tackle. Well, he had a tough senior season at Georgia, bothered by a hamstring. He had gone there after Long Beach State gave up the sport 5 games into his first year. And told us he wasn't really disappointed with the 6th round draft pick. His agent had told him he'd be a 2nd round pick. He thought he might not get drafted at all.
Well, he certainly has made the most of his opportunity.
Glenn Milburn is in as a wide receiver now. Bernstein stays in and gets the handoff, and a first down run over left guard moves him out to the 43-yard line.
What John Elway has always lacked in his career here in Denver is kind of a runner that he can depend upon. And now they're hoping Terrell Davis can be that guy. And you're going to mix in some Rod Bernstein. You mentioned Glenn Milburn. He will be a featured guy. He'll be more of a receiver. But if they can get that running game going with Terrell Davis and Rod Bernstein, I mean, they have a lot of weapons on offense when they get Anthony Miller back from his injury, Mike Pritchard and Shannon Sharp. They can be as explosive as any team in the AFC.
2nd down and 6. Shannon Sharp in motion, followed by Henry Jones. They slip the ball to Terrell Davis, and he in turn is knocked backwards after a moderate gain.
Here's one of those 3rd down situations where Elway likes to use his count, try to get a free down. And of course, Bruce Smith was talking to us about it yesterday. He's very aware of him changing up his count, using his hard count. But this is also, there's Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator. But here's where you like the one-on-one matchups again with Sharp and your backs. Maybe Rod Bernstein and Sharp. They hit for the big play with Sharp earlier.
Let's see if Elway goes with a hard count now. 3rd and 3. Nope. There's going to be a holding call. And it'll be the option of the Buffalo Bills because John is sacked at the 40-yard line. First sack tonight.
Boy, that is good coverage. That was a coverage sack because he had a lot of time to get rid of that ball. Here's the holding call to decline it and punt it.
Yeah, one of the veterans acquired by this team for just that sort of pass rush gets his first sack in Buffalo. Jim Jeffcoat, #1 draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys in 1983.
Everybody was covered downfield, but number 77 right there in the middle of the screen, he just blows right by, gets some help from Cornelius Bennett. and Jeffcoat and a pop gets a piece of him as well. But that was good coverage by Smith and Burris in the backfield and Henry Jones.
Tom Ruin is on to punt on 4th down. 3:25 to go in the first quarter of play. 7-3 Buffalo, and they're about to get it back. Here's Jeff Burris. He comes up and grabs it at the 19. Good block to free him for a moment. And he counterpunches out to the 29-yard line. Burris, a #1 draft pick, who's a starter in the defensive secondary for the Buffalo Bills. Well, first Sunday of the season. Oakland wins in their first home game in 13 years. Kansas City won big. New England at the end of the game.
Yeah. Chris Martin, the rookie, ran for over 100 yards.
And Miami rolled over the Jets 52-14. Well, Marv Levy's upset about something. There's a flag that was dropped on the far side.
Well, they certainly know Red Cashin's name, don't they?
That's a first down.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear that one.
Line judge Charles Stewart. Now, somehow I don't think Marv's going to win this conversation or win this argument.
Come on, Red. Here we go.
Okay. Now we're going to check and see who it was.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going back a long way.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receivers. The block was out of bounds. Be a 15-yard penalty. First down and 10.
Yeah, the key thing there, though, it's a 1st and 10, not a 1st and 25.
Now let's go back and take a look at that block that was judged to be out of bounds. Rod Smith is the recipient of the block.
He gets pushed out there. And he's fighting his way back in. Well, there's no illegal block there that I've seen so far. Yeah,
I don't know. And they didn't tell us who it
that
was.
was not on Rod Smith.
No. Here's Kelley to Thomas. High steps and gets a couple. Thurman Thomas already with his 6th carry. 7-3. Buffalo leads it. The touchdown came on a 34-yard pass from Jim Kelley to Andre Reed.
You think about this Buffalo team and what they have gone through. You know, 4 Super Bowl losses, then they followed up with a 7-9 season a year ago. They've lost 19 free agents over the past 2 years. This, other than the key stars, and they saw some great ones, this is really a new team, particularly defensively.
2nd and 8. Kelley got a rush, got rid of it. Thurman Thomas has it. And he spilled at the 20-yard line. Good job by Kelley. Michael Dean Perry was right there. Number 95 working against the rookie, Brown.
You got Michael Dean Perry, number 95, on the rookie. Reuben Brown, number 95. And this is kind of a power rush, but he's a gap player. He's not going to run through guys, but he's going to run through your gaps. And if you don't get your hands on him quickly, he's going to hit your quarterback like that a lot. I mean, he's hard to miss. He's 285 pounds. You can't have a no-hitter. You got to get your hands on him.
Matador offense.
Yeah.
3rd and 3. Bill Brooks in as the 3rd wideout. Thomas goes in motion near side. No blitz. Kelley in trouble. Incomplete pass. Buffalo punts.
Boy, did Ray Crockett, number 39, do a great job. I think it was on Bill Brooks. I mean, he was looking for Bill Brooks. Jim Kelley was. And Ray Crockett now playing left corner. You're going to see it started with pretty good protection. They take care of Michael Dean Perry. That time, Reuben Brown does a good job. And Ray Crockett just jammed him and would not let him inside. It's a heck of a play by Crockett.
Here's the punt by Chris Moore. Nice and high. Boy, that one rides the sky. Milburn back at the 24. Has a chance to return it. Has a chance for a big return. Cut down at the 47. Tony Klein, number 88, rookie tight end, made the tackle. 7-3 our score with 1:28 to go opening quarter. Next Sunday we begin at 7 p.m. Eastern time with the Coors Light pro football tonight. Vince and Mark back in the studio. Ernie with us, and we're going to be down in Arizona, where the Philadelphia Eagles, losers today at home, take on the Arizona Cardinals, losers today at home. Don't guess they'll sell the game.
That surprised me. I mean, I thought Arizona, after we saw them a couple weeks ago, were going to dominate on defense.
And we saw Philadelphia and thought they'd do well.
What do we?
Here's Elway, Shannon Sharp. Big play.
Yeah, the way this West Coast offense and Mike Shannahan uses the tight end position is really something fun to watch, I think. You know, the first player early in that first series, they line him up as the tight end. This time, you'll see number 84 in motion. He is the man in motion right here. And then Elway, it looks like it's a kind of a middle screen, but there's no real screen blockers before. It's a little delay pass. And the 49ers ran these kind of subtle little plays with great success a year ago, and they're using Shannon Sharp here in this game the same way.
And it's a first down and 10 right now after that gain of 15. Elway, blitz coming. He goes across the middle. Shannon Sharp can't hang on. It's an incomplete pass. Yep.
Yeah, he had him, and he knows it. I mean, when Denver's had success in this game, though, it has been Shannon Sharp working in the middle of the field and working against linebackers. And what did Shannon say to us a couple of days ago? In this offense, he says, I can catch 100 passes or more.
Yeah, he was almost salivating and smiling at the same time, which is a weird juxtaposition of things one does anatomically.
There you go.
But he was talking about his health. He's got bad ankles, and said if he could stay healthy, there's no way he doesn't catch 100, which would equal his brother Sterling's annual output in Green Bay. Used to be. Second down and 10. Elway has to get rid of it early. No flag. Mike Pritchard wanted the flag on Maddox. I really thought he should have gotten one.
I want to tell you, though, there goes a late flag there. I think they're going to call something on Mike Pritchard. It started, though, with Bruce Smith again against Gary Zimmerman. Remember a play earlier, he came upfield on Zimmerman outside. This time, he comes inside with a little swim move. He set that move up with an outside rush a couple of plays earlier, and then he lets John Elway have it.
Well, Pritchard was coming across the middle. Maddox bumped him. There was no flag. And then obviously Mike Pritchard got a little argumentative.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 81, 15 yards. After the pass was incomplete, third down. Loss of down.
Third down. It's a loss of down.
Yeah, you know, the penalty was not on the play itself. He was grabbed. You're right. Maddox grabbed it. Should have been pass interference there. But the compounds a mistake. He gets up and screams at the official. Who knows what he said, but then they call it on Mike Pritchard. But he had a right to be angry.
Third and 25. 7-3 score. Last 40 seconds first quarter. Elway drills it. Pritchard, but that's short of the first down at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, but they should be in field goal range, though. Didn't get the first down, but they have an opportunity to put 3 on the board. Mike Shanahan, even though he's the head coach, he is still calling the plays.
John Elway looking over at the near side. Mike Shanahan responds. Not much of a breeze, really.
No. I think he's going to let it run out anyway.
So they'd rather kick to the south end. We've reached the end of one. Buffalo on a 34-yard touchdown toss. Kelley to Reed has posted a 7-3 lead. We start the second quarter. Vern Lundquist, Pat Hayden from Mile High Stadium, and Tom Ruin will hold now for Jason Elam's attempt of 52 yards. Gets it up. Knocks it home. Nice start to 95. A 52-yard field goal for Jason Elam from Hawaii by way of Snellville, Georgia. That's a long round trip.
Big trip.
The
7-6 Buffalo leads it, but Jason Elam's 52-yard field goal has decreased the lead to 1 in the first play of the second quarter. And time now for the GMC Truck Leaderboard. Here are the GMC Truck Leaders. The best performances on opening day. OJ, 250 yards for Buffalo in 73. Van Brocklin 554 passing, and my old buddy Frank Clark for the Dallas Cowboys in 1962, 241 yards.
Yeah, look what happened today.
Well, Terry Allen 131. That's a nice start.
That is nice. Frank Reich had a big night, a big day today, although in a losing cause. And Michael Jackson 157 yards in a losing effort.
Somebody could pass one of those marks tonight, I suppose. I doubt it, but
it's still available,
yes,
still open,
it's
still
there.
possible.
We got 3 quarters to play. Yonel Jourdain. Alan Aldridge part of the special teams coverage. So is Reggie Rivers, number 38, who made this team by the whiskers on his chin. And he's a really likable young man who's a multifaceted media giant. He writes a column for a local paper. He has a radio show. He co-authored Vance Johnson's biography. He's working on a novel.
Yeah, he's got a publicist too.
And
right?
when he found out that he had made the roster this year, the first call came from his publicist.
Yeah. I guess we all need those from time to time.
I like his style. 1st and 10. Backs in the eye. Kelley. Incomplete. Intended for his tight end, Lonnie Johnson. There's a
story there. They're going to miss Pete Metzelaars. I believe Pete Metzelaars, caught 49 balls for the Bills last year, but they're really going to miss him, I think, in the running game. If you're going to run outside the NFL, you have to have a dominating tight end that can block, and Pete Metzelaars was that guy. And that's an unsettled position for Marv Levy at tight end. Lonnie Johnson has talent, but he's not a proven player. Metzelaars, by the way, caught the first touchdown in Carolina history today.
From
Frank Reich, another former Bill.
Little buff to buff. 2nd and 10. Back split. That's Thurman Thomas again.
Even though Buffalo is leading this game 7-6, they still have not gotten a way to get Thurman Thomas really involved, certainly in the running game. And we said they're most difficult to stop when they get him going in that running game. He is a great stop and start and go sideways and backwards and never stopping kind of runner. Enough commas in that description?
John Fina is the injured player, the left tackle, number 70.
Remember, we talked about how Buffalo's a different team. Their starting tackles they've lost. Will Wolford a couple of years ago, House Ballard. So they, they've kind of reconfigured this team. Marv Levy has. You look at him. He looks like he actually understands the Federal Reserve System. I don't, but he looks like he does.
And can explain it.
Yeah.
Which is really frightening.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know that he likes us saying that about him. Here's Fina from Arizona. Corey Lucci is going to take his place, number 72.
You're going to watch his right arm, number 70. Ooh,
hyperextended elbow.
Yeah, right in the back of Thurman Thomas, right in his shoulder pad. Oh. Now these linemen, though, I tell you, these guys are tough guys. They kind of patch them up, they turn them up, put tape and aspirin on it, and they send them back in.
3rd and 9, 14-15 to go first half. Kelley out of the shotgun. Flags are down. So's Kelley. Elijah Alexander.
Yeah, he is not one of those new starters, Elijah Alexander, but playing a new position. They're playing him on the strong side. He is number 58. You're going to see him right here. And he's going to come off the corner, doesn't jam the tight end. They got him and Ray Crockett coming clean. Lee. That's a well-designed blitz.
Zone. Number 95 on the defense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
That's our man, Michael Dean Perry. He will jump offside sometimes. He will line up in the neutral zone. It's feast or famine. You have to live with those kind of things with Michael Dean Perry, as well as the good plays. But they, they had a big sack there. That was look at the most penalized offsides guys last year. Bruce Smith and Michael Dean Perry. That's because they're so quick, and sometimes they guess on the snap count.
Well, that cost them the sack, and it gives Buffalo a 3rd and 4. Kelley got him again, threw it away. And Red Cashin, no indication of intentional grounding. They're going to say his knee was down. Jim Kelley's knee was on the ground when he threw the ball.
Yeah, Michael Dean Perry goes the long way this time. He can be a gap player, and this time he goes all the way on a stunt around Dranette. He's got an explosive burst, a different type of player than Bruce Smith, but equally quick. And when he gets there, he always seems to make the play. Guys don't bounce off him.
Here's the punt for Chris Moore. Shanked it.
Oh, thank you very much. I love saying that.
Shortly. Surely it was short.
There you go. That'd be a nice adverb at there.
Good news for the Denver defense. They had only 23 sacks a year ago. They just got a big one from that man. Chris Moore's 24-yard punt has given the Broncos excellent field position. Only 44 yards away from the Buffalo end zone.
Yeah, and this still is a game of field position. This is a situation that Denver has to take advantage of the good field position, particularly when you're at home.
Davis and Bernstein behind Elway on first down. See if John might want to try and go for it all. Nope. They'll give it to the rookie running back, Terrell Davis, number 30. This is a town, Pat, I know you know this, that absolutely adores its Broncos. And here's Terrell Davis, who made the team as a 6th-round draft choice. Already he has been signed to write a weekly column for one of the papers, and he turned down a chance to host a Sunday night television show.
You know, that's would be my advice to a rookie. Play. Don't write, don't talk, don't do those shows. Just play the game. Do it, prove yourself first before you start writing columns.
2nd and 7. Elway across the middle, dropped by Davis. Maddox was right behind him, but it was a catchable ball.
Yeah, again, those are the kind of matchups that Mike Shannahan said he wanted to have. A Terrell Davis against a linebacker like Maddox, Sharp against a strong safety or linebacker, and now we have Glenn Milburn in the game, who can be an instant mismatch. He, kind of runs like a hummingbird. He's all over the place.
Broncos haven't converted yet. Milburn, expect him to be the featured back here. And they use the West Coast offense, but they do employ the shotgun with it. Tom Nalen will snap it back. Blitz is coming. Denver picks it up, and here's the pass on the line. Mike Pritchard. First down. Oh, it's Shannon Sharp. Yeah. 84 instead of 81.
The thing you like about Shannon Sharp, Vern, he is a strong guy and real strong hands. He's number 84 again, and you get the ball around him. And this wasn't a terribly well-thrown pass, but he has such strong hands, he's going to be able to go down and get it. They tried to double team him. Just get anywhere in his area. Good coverage there by Schultz, but the strong hand just sucks the ball up. There's no bobble passes by Shannon Sharp.
That's Milburn and McCaffrey wide to the left. Pritchard, bottom of your screen. Bernstein, the running back. 1st and 10. Rod Bernstein gets it. Longtime running back out of Texas A&M at San Diego, came over here a couple of years ago. He's just trying to stay healthy for a full season. He went out at the 3rd game last year, ACL, anterior cruciate ligament. Health has always been a problem for him.
Always been one of those guys who's had great potential, but as you see, he's never been able to play a full 16-game season. But he's had flashes. You always wonder if he could have stayed healthy, what kind of player he would have been. What kind of player would have been.
You're doing a good job of catching your English mistakes tonight.
All right, I use a lot of proper adverbs.
You're in mid-season form. 2nd down, 8. Oh, good job on Bruce Smith, or Bennett rather, coming from the outside. I think that was Zimmerman and Schlereth who went out to help on Bennett. He was coming around the end with speed.
Ed McCaffrey is going to be one of those kind of dependable receivers that Denver needs, and that John Elway is going to look for on these kind of 3rd down situations. But I'll tell you, there was a heck of a tackle by Monty Brown, the linebacker, who took down Ed McCaffrey. They had the matchup they wanted, but a good play by Monty Brown. Again, use his snap count.
3rd and 4. Elway. Pritchard. 1st and goal, Denver.
Okay, Mike Pritchard's year ago was wiped out when he hurt his kidney, a laceration on the kidney. But this is a guy that can have a 100-catch season also, I think, for the Broncos if he stays healthy. And he is particularly good after the catch. Another one of those strong guys. You throw him a little 3 or 4 yard pass, you make a guy miss, you break a couple of tackles, and you have a first down inside the 10. Again, I saw Jerry Rice do it again for San Francisco. Caught a ball, 4 yard pass, and turned it into a long touchdown.
Rack yards, run after the catch.
Yep.
Pritchard gets a rest. Rod Smith is in. Backs are split. Terrell Davis bounces off one into another, and he moves it down to the 4 yard line.
In the NFL today, in today's game, here's where you'd love to be able to run the football with some power. And that's still a big question mark for this Denver Bronco team and for Terrell Davis. They did it in the preseason, but now it really counts.
After a one-play rest, Bruce Smith comes back in. He and Pop will line up on the right side. Second down and goal from the 4. Elway in the pocket. Play action. Elway, runner pass, drills it. Dropped. Oh, boy.
Well, just after we were extolling him, how the ball doesn't bounce out and bobble passes, that one, I think he was expecting the ball a little bit earlier in the play, but he still should have caught that ball. Again, sometimes the velocity and the speed of his passes shock you on the run. I mean, lots of guys can throw it hard, but not like that on the run. But that's a perfectly thrown ball in the numbers. Should have been a touchdown, and would have been a different game. And he was wide open on a play action fake. Had McCaffrey on one side and Sharp underneath the goalposts.
Backs are split on 3rd and goal from the 4. Sharp in motion. Mark Schlereth moved at left guard.
I think Broderick Thompson did too.
Got a double dip. There's Schlereth, who came over here from the Redskins. First native-born Alaskan to ever play in the National Football League.
You are full of the tidbits tonight.
Hey, you're away from the league for a year. You store this stuff up. I kind of went in hibernation.
Before the snap, false start. Number 76 on the offense. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Come on, Red. 69, move 2. They got Broderick, though.
I want to tell you, though, that even though Shannon Sharp dropped that last pass to him, this would be still an opportunity where he can use his size and his strength and a matchup. His size, and Ed McCaffrey goes at 6'5". You like those size matchups.
See if Denver comes. They are. Elway back. Here comes Smith. There's the pass caught by Davis. Dropped at the 2. Nice tackle in the open field by Marlon Kerner, who's one of the rookies, one of 8 rookie draft choices who made this club.
Yeah, new head coaches sometimes have to make unpopular decisions, but that's the one. Kick the field goal. And you're right, this was a good tackle by Kerner. They had the kind of play they wanted. They had a guy, Terrell Davis, who's a tough and a strong player, but a perfect tackle by Kerner to keep him at the end zone. But again, I'll just mention about Mike Shannahan. This is the right decision for him to kick the field goal. He's down 7-6, still very early in this ballgame.
Jeff Robinson will snap it. Tom Ruin will hold it. Jason Elam for his 3rd field goal of the first half. And the Denver Broncos, who had a lead of 3-0 on their opening drive of the game, have reclaimed a lead. They're up 9-7 now. Back at Mile High Stadium, where the Broncos have reclaimed a lead. It's now 2 points, 9-7 on Jason Elam's 3rd field goal of the first half.
Where's Waldo? You have to read those books. Where's Waldo books? I guess
No,
you have it.
I don't have children.
Okay. You got to find him in the crowd.
I study the Federal Reserve.
There you go.
Yeah. Elam will kick off. Jourdain and Holmes wait to return it. This will be Yonel Jourdain at the 2-yard line. Ronnie Bradford makes the first contact, number 23. Reggie Rivers was also there. Now let's take a look at the Lee Sport scoreboard on this opening Sunday of the 1995 NFL season. San Diego loses to the Raiders, and Kansas City wins big on the road. Boy, it was a great day for road teams today. Except for Cleveland. I didn't know that was the next one that's going to pop up. Or for the Jets as far as that goes.
Yeah, watch out for Miami, though. They have a lot of weapons. How about Pelfrey? 5 field goals. He also punted in that game as well for Cincinnati.
That's the first Cincinnati win in September since '92. Houston over Jacksonville, 10-3. First down and 10, Buffalo. Gardner. They hand it off to Thomas. He slips and falls and squirts for a couple. That is the 8th carry for Thurman Thomas, but he has had only modest success. 24 yards, 3-yard.
Yeah, you know, when you watch Thurman Thomas, you know, his moves are nifty, but they're not brilliant. He doesn't overwhelm you with power and speed. He's always done it with creativity, with patience, and using his teammates, his blocks, setting up people. I don't think there's anybody in the league that sets up blocks better than Thurman Thomas.
Got a couple lands, second down and 8. 9-7, Denver leads it midway through the second quarter. Kelley looks left, batted down. Mike Lodish might have gotten a hand up, or Dan Williams, number 90. It was Williams.
You know, if you can't get there and you push the pile back, the next best thing is to get your hands up. You know, you go 6'4" like Dan Williams does. At the bottom of the screen, number 90. He gets right into Fina. He's battling a bad angle and a perfectly timed jump by Williams. Fina battling that bad elbow, I mean. And those are the kind of power plays they expected from Dan Williams when they drafted with the first pick in '93.
First pick out of Toledo. It's third down and 8. 3 wide receiver set. Kelley will go from the shotgun, but he has to call time. The play clock was down to 1. So the Bills burn one. 7:31 remaining in the first half of play. And the Denver Broncos lead it by a couple. There's a picture that doesn't need a caption.
There you go.
Third down.
Another one of those third down situations where Greg Robinson, the new defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, is hoping to be able to get some inside push with Michael Dean Perry and Shane Dronette and allow Simon Fletcher to come off the corner, where he has been awfully good for Denver over the last 10 years.
3rd and 8. Broncos have the nickel in. Randy Hilliard, the 5th defensive back. Here's Kelley across the middle. Caught by Reed. Good open field tackle. And that tackle is made by Ray Crockett. That is short of.
Ray's letting him know now. Bring in the punt team, Ray says. And that was a good tackle because Andre Reed is one strong receiver. You know, you love to see guys get excited, and it's an exciting time on opening day when you're playing at home.
Well, the Bills have been stymied offensively here the last quarter or so. They have a 34-yard touchdown. Kelley to Reed. Here's Chris Moore. This Moore to his liking. Milburn at the 15. Can't quite shake the tackle from Tom Tyndale, number 33. Well, they are missing Steve Tasker on special teams tonight. Out because of a pulled hamstring. He did make the trip, but he's not suited up.
And Damon Thomas, number 82, is taking his place, and they must think Tasker still there because they still have 2 guys bullying them. But you know, they got him down. Tasker never stayed down, I promise you either.
You going?
Richard Smith, the special teams coach for the Denver Broncos, was saying, hey, we had to set up a whole plan, special teams plan, for Steve Tasker. And he was delighted that he was not going to be playing tonight.
9-7 Denver leads it. 6:46 to go. First half. Corner blitz coming. Elway goes that direction. Shannon Sharp. That's a 9-yard gain after the 34. The tackle made by Mark Maddox, number 55.
I'll tell you, when Shannon Sharp has been open, he has been wide open. I mean, I really haven't seen close coverage on him yet tonight. I never understand why you don't jam him a little bit more at the line of scrimmage, but he gets off the line of scrimmage, and there isn't anyone near him.
That's a gain of 9. And it's 2nd down and 1. Terrell Davis joins Rod Bernstein in the backfield. Mike Pritchard in motion. They give it off to Bernstein, and he picks up a couple. That may be good enough to move the chains. Pat, you know, we think of the West Coast offense, the 49er offense, that's been exported. I love the offense du jour.
It even called West Coast offense in Philadelphia.
Yeah, exactly.
And west of Maine,
right?
The West Coast offense.
But how do you equate the role that Shannon Sharpe plays with Brent Jones at the 49ers?
I think Shannon Sharpe is probably a little bit more athletic, a guy that can use more downfield in the longer pass plays. We saw that early in this football game. And I think they're both very effective inside the 15.
First and 10, Elway back. Rush coming from Bryce Popp. Elway throws it. And oh my goodness. Mike Pritchard couldn't get it because Jeff Burris was there to break up the play.
Okay, Wade Phillips has a new defense of philosophy here in Buffalo. That is play man for man. It's to blitz people. And number 22, Burris, this is his first year as a start. And he gets his hands up right in time, and you know, that's perfect time. As soon as you see the receiver's hands go up, your hands go up, and you knock the ball away. That's as well as you can play it by Burris.
Wade Phillips, of course, coming back where he coached a total of 6 years. The last year, 2 years as the head coach. Second down and 10. Here's Bernstein in the sweep. Schlereth in front.
Yeah, that's a heck of a block by Mark Schlereth on Greg Evans. There he is, big old 69. You can't miss him. You know, Alex Gibbs, the offensive line coach, says, hey, this guy is an accountable guy. And if you can get a guard out there doing his thing, perfectly timed, too. Didn't rush it. Bernstein didn't rush it. Waited for the block by Schlereth. Gets right in the shoulder pads of Greg Evans. He follows the block, and you have a nice first down.
Bernstein with a gain of 18 yards off the Schlereth block. One of the Hogs signed as an unrestricted free agent this year. First and 10. Nalen snaps it back. Draw play. Terrell Davis. Nifty run. Oh, what a dandy move.
They've been looking for that running back that you can count on. Count on in the first quarter and in the fourth quarter. They have not had that for years here. But Terrell Davis, they believe, can become that guy. You run an outside play with Rod Bernstein, and then you come right back inside with Terrell Davis. Picked up a very nice block inside.
That's a gain of 17 yards for Terrell Davis. Carl Wilson, an injured Buffalo Bill, on the ground.
One of the things I noticed today in the offensive side of the football on opening day was seems like more teams are running outside plays. You know, I saw Rod Bernstein run an outside play there a moment ago. The 49ers did it. There's Alex Gibbs, the offensive line coach, assistant head coach as well, here for Denver, and he's got some guys that can really block. I mean, Habib, Schlereth, we've seen. Watch one of his guys, number 75, Habib. Again, he just kicks out Bryce Popp. Bernstein gets a nice block as well, and Davis follows that block.
Well, Brian Habib is going to pay dearly for that. He told us during our chat with him 2 days ago, every time an offensive lineman gets on television, or gets his name mentioned in the paper, or agrees to even meet with the television commentators, it's a fine.
That's it. You get fined big time. I mean, they want to be as anonymous as telephone operators, and he'll have a big fine.
Well, the reason that Gary Zimmerman wouldn't meet with us is he's
take a fine.
Too cheap to pay the fine.
Brian Habib said about Alex Gibbs, he said, hey, I've been in this league a while now. I've never been around an offensive line coach who knew more about coaching offensive linemen than Alex Gibbs.
Under Alex Gibbs a year ago, Kansas City gave up 19 sacks. This Denver bunch gave up 55 last year. That's the reason he's here. Terrell Davis surges over right guard at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, Terrell Davis keeps this up. Yeah. He is a demonstrative guy. He goes out with his offensive lineman. He'll chew him out, but then he'll pat him on the back. He's almost looks like a special teams coach, doesn't he?
He said one of the things he's got to do is convince the wide receivers they are responsible for sacks. He's got to convince the route runners that they're not embarking on 9-day journeys.
Yeah, exactly. Get downfield.
Blitz coming. Terrell Davis in the middle to the 20.
Okay, these are the tough yards that Terrell Davis is giving the Broncos right now. The way he hugged that block. Okay, just follows, hugs the block of Gary Zimmerman, the left tackle, number 65. And you're going to get a couple here. Schlereth has a stalemate on his guy, which is good enough. Zimmerman stands up, the linebacker, and he is smart enough not to try to do it all on his own, but he follows in a disciplined run there by Terrell Davis.
Denver 2 of 7 on third down conversions. Davis now with 46 yards, but the Broncos will burn a timeout of their own. They call time with 3:06 remaining in the first half. Well, we've got a good one tonight. We thought we might have 2 undefeated teams next week. We don't. But we're going to be there, and it's all going to start next Sunday at 7 o'clock, and we're going to enjoy watching Eric Swan again, Pat.
Yeah, he's one of those forces on defense. You know, you talk about some of the guys tonight, Bruce Smith and Michael Dean Perry. He's another one of those guys that gets off the ball and can disrupt things.
Well, we've got the Eagles and the Cardinals from Sun Devil Stadium in Phoenix next week. I look forward to that. It's the only spot in the league where they give you a parachute when you go into the broadcast booth. It's a little far, a little high.
Well, let's set up this third down. In years past, this was definitely a passing down for the Broncos, but we've seen them run with some power here in this drive with Terrell Davis and with Rod Bernstein. So if you can believe that, this is kind of a run or pass down for Denver right now.
3rd and 1. They lead it by 2. 8-man front, play action. Elway can't get his man Bernstein.
How about Bryce Popp?
Oh, boy.
Bryce Popp was the guy that is going to force the field goal attempt. You're going to watch number 95. The free agent from Green Bay, he's on the near side right there, comes cleanly. Now, he was supposed to get fooled, but that was a disciplined play by Bryce Popp. I mean, this is a consistent, relentless guy, and he is going to make a difference in the pass rush for the Bills this year.
Coming off a great season for Green Bay a year ago, made his first Pro Bowl. And here's Elam for his 4th field goal attempt in the first half. And this one is no good. So Elam comes up wide. He didn't come up short.
Yep. You know, neither one of these offenses really seem to be in sync tonight, Burns. I mean, you know, we have a 9-7 ball game, and it is the opening game. Mike Shannahan said one of his concerns about this particular game was, hey, my offensive team has not played together this preseason. Everybody's been hurt. Anthony Miller was hurt for a while. Ed McCaffrey was hurt for a while. Haven't had my whole offense together, and they're kind of playing like that. But the thing about both these quarterbacks is they do not get discouraged. They can be ugly for 3 quarters and play great in the 4th quarter.
Out of the shotgun, here's Kelley. The Bills down by 2.
Hold on.
He catches his tight end Lonnie Johnson, but there are 2 flags in the offensive backfield. So we'll see if Johnson's catch will stand up. I don't think so. Here's the possession chart for the Bills in the first half.
And Chris Moore will earn a letter.
And they tag into that 77-yard drive.
79 on the offense. 10 yards, still first down.
That's Reuben Brown. That's the rookie.
Yeah, that's the matchup. He had a good hold on Michael Dean Perry. He's going to tackle him. Yeah, Perry tries to get to that gap, and Brown gets his hands on him early, but he just can't stop the power. He is so quick and explosive on those first 2 steps. It just blew right by him.
1st and 20. Kelley. Oh, here's Andre Reed. Yeah. How's that for a quick 21-yard gain?
Yeah, and you see who Andre Reed kind of knocked backward? It was Steve Atwater. You talk about a tough, physical guy who will catch the ball over the middle. Andre Reed has done this for 11 years now. First of all, it was a frozen rope. I mean, that ball got there quickly. It was a perfectly thrown ball right in the numbers. And then he runs through Atwater for the extra couple of yards to pick up the first.
Kelley back, left side. Tipped, almost picked off.
Oh, it's a Ray Crockett.
Intended for Bill Brooks, and Ray Crockett was right there.
He's having a night, Ray Crockett, isn't he? And we've seen him make a couple of tackles in critical situations, knock the ball away. Made a 1 tackle, 2 yards short of a first down. Now, he's back playing left corner. Vern, last year he played right corner after coming from Detroit as a free agent. And you get the feeling he just feels a lot more comfortable over there on the left side. And if you're comfortable, you're confident, and then you play better.
And they've got Lionel Washington in his old spot. Now 2nd down and 10. Here's Kelley. Blitz coming. Crockett. The pass behind Lonnie Johnson. James Jones had drifted back in pass coverage that time. That's a huge load to move north.
Yeah, well, you know, Greg Robinson did that a lot last year with the Jets. I mean, he would bring outside guys and then drop off defensive linemen in short zones.
And the pass incomplete makes it 3rd and 10. Buffalo is 1 of 6 on 3rd downs. Kelley is 7 of 16 from 95 yards. Damon Thomas in as an extra wide receiver. 3rd and 10. Here comes Michael Dean Perry.
Oh.
And there goes Thurman Thomas.
Had something set.
And here comes a flag from, I don't know, the 25-yard line.
That was a hefty throw by the field judge.
Holy cow.
Bill Schmitz.
I mean, that was way downfield. And the pass will be, the penalty will be declined.
Pass interference, number 84 on the offense. That penalty is declined. It'll be 4th down, and that's the 2-minute warning.
So we have reached the 2-minute warning. We cheated you by a second. We'll be right back.
The game within the game. This is Reuben Brown that we've talked about. This is Michael Dean Perry. And now watch again how quickly he gets off, jumps through the gap again. He's not going to go through players, and then gets to Jim Kelley, knocks him down. I mean, you have got to have some help on Michael Dean Perry. You've got to be able to double team him. Otherwise, he's going to be knocking your quarterback down every day, every play.
He's been there tonight. 4th and 10. Milburn back to return. He's returned the last 2 for 24 and 10 yards respectively. Nice and high by Chris Moore. And Milburn with a fair catch, 25-yard line. Coming up at halftime on the Fruit of the Loom halftime report, which will be a little later than we thought because of this minor skirmish.
There you go.
But we're still going to bring it to you.
We'll still get halftime. Yep.
We're going to have the no-huddle highlights.
There you go.
Vince Cellini will take you around the league with barely a whisper of breath. We have a Steve Young injury update and Ricky Waters, who is, we are told, mad already. Hate to hear that.
We've only got 15 games left to get over it.
Jim Kelley, his team trails by 2. Glenn Milburn stays in the lineup, and the Broncos go from the shotgun. Everybody coming. Down low. Oh, my! How about the catch in traffic? Shannon Sharp dropped one in the end zone, and a frozen rope from Mr. Elway.
John Elway could throw a greasy pork chop past the hungry wolf. This thing gets there. There's no open guy. I mean, there is a crease about that big, and I'm holding my fingers an inch apart, and he gets the ball. That was the play they opened the game with early over Perry.
Man, oh man, that was excellence on both sides.
Cool.
Elway and Sharp.
Yeah, you know you're going to get smacked. You know you're going to get hit, but you have the concentration in traffic. And I want to tell you, there's nothing for the confidence of a quarterback that you know you have a receiver that'll catch the ball in traffic like that. A 30-yard game.
That's 30 yards on that play. Nalen snaps it back. Elway goes deep for Pritchard. Guarded by Burris. Can't hang on. Jeff Burris, one of the 3 #1 draft choices who occupy starting spots in his Buffalo secondary.
Underthrew him. Had him for a touch. Underthrew Mike Pritchard there. But, you know, that's the thing about both these quarterbacks. We talk about playing ugly for a while. Neither one of them really playing great. And the next thing you know, he throws the rope to Shannon Sharp. Then he comes back to Mike Pritchard. And he had him. He just kind of underthrew him. Still catchable, though. Still catchable.
2nd and 10. 1:10 remaining in the first half. Denver up by a couple. This time, 4-man rush. They stunt. Here's the pass to Terrell Davis. He breaks one tackle, but then is caught and dropped by Cornelius Bennett at the 43-yard line. And the Broncos are going to use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. And the time is called with 59 seconds to go.
We're going to watch Bruce Smith on an inside move. We've seen an outside move, then a quick move, and then this time a stunt. He fakes outside and then comes inside the rush of Phil Hansen to give John Elway a shot. So we've seen 3 different pass rushes in the first half by Bruce Smith. This guy is still the dominant pass rusher in the National Football League.
Alex Gibbs said to us he is, without question, the best defensive player in the league right now.
He said over the last 5 years he has.
Interesting listening to him talk, too, about the acquisition of Jeffcoat and Bryce Popp to help him with additional sack.
Yeah, it's up to date. Reggie White had 2.5 today. You see where Bruce Smith is, and he is an absolute force, and he is a change of pace. And as Alex Gibbs was saying, hey, 5 years ago he took some plays off. He doesn't do that anymore. He's playing hard every down.
3rd and 8, 59 seconds remaining. First half. Blitz coming. They bring 7. Here's Elway. He can still get it done, can he? But he fumbles. And the ball is going to be down at the 30-yard line. Carl Schultz.
He may be 35 years old, and he may not be as fast as he once was, but he's still fast enough.
Clock running with 34 seconds to go. And now stopped at the 34-second mark.
Vern, I've always thought John Elway is the best scrambler ever in the National Football League. Not necessarily the best runner. I mean, maybe Roger Staubach was, Steve Young, and some guys like that, Randall Cunningham. But the best scrambler because he is always still looking downfield for a big play. He felt Kurt Schultz behind him. Kurt Schultz does a nice job of stripping the ball, but there's old Shannon Sharp to lend a hand to his quarterback.
2nd down and 10. 34 seconds to go. Deep in the middle, Pritchard in and out of the hands. Marlon Kerner, second good defensive play for the rookie.
This has been a first half of good defensive plays. It starts with Gary Zimmerman doing his job first. You have to start by blocking Bruce Smith. Zimmerman does that. Elway's allowed to step up. He's got an open Pritchard. The recovery speed there by Kerner. They're testing the rookie, and that good recovery speed by Kerner.
Marlon Kerner, the 3rd-round pick out of Ohio State. Terrific play.
You know, Eric Davis for the 49ers today saved the game against New Orleans. Same kind of play there by Kerner.
3rd and 10. Elway on the rope at the 20. That'll be enough for the first down.
They have the Broncos have some good, strong inside receivers. They're going to use their last timeout. You see old Reggie Rivers, he came in from the sidelines. He came running in to call the timeout and then ran out. I'm sure he can do that, but that's what he did.
Broncos are out of timeouts now with 17 seconds to go. How do you differentiate scrambler runner when you're talking about Elway?
It's a good point. I think when Elway is scrambling, he is always looking for the pass first. He couldn't that time. But generally, his big plays, if you look back over his career, they come on the scramble when he's trying to set something up downfield, then he'll throw it down 60 yards. You look at Randall Cunningham, Steve Young, Roger Staubach, those guys, when they were scrambling, they were looking to run. And I think that's a big, big difference. And no one has been able to have the velocity and the strength to finish a scramble like John Elway, to be able to run one way, throw the ball cross body 40 yards.
You know, Wade Phillips was talking with us by phone this week and concerning Elway's high number of sacks. That's one of the risks you take.
Yeah, because you want him out there scrambling around. You are going to take some sacks.
1st and 10, 9-7. Denver leads, trying to add to the total. 4-man Buffalo rush. Elway. No, that was a mix-up. Pritchard went one way, John went the other.
There's still 12 seconds remaining here in this half. They do have no timeouts, and you have to be careful. You're going to call the kind of routes that either you can get out of bounds or you can quickly line up and then down the ball and give your kicker a chance. Now, I still not have. They have been able to get the ball to Shannon Sharp all night. I mean, he was covered the last play by Perry, the linebacker, but he's been open a lot tonight.
Elway, rather modest, 9 of 23 in the first half. Lets it go deep for Pritchard. Incomplete.
Had him again. Had him again. Just had to lead him more toward the middle of the field, Vern. Again, a good rush by Smith. I think Popp was in there as well. But he thinks actually he was going to run a little narrower, skinnier post pattern. And if he throws this away from the defender, I think it's a touch. And he had him beaten.
Well, soccer fans must love this one. Here's Jason Elam for the 5th time in the first half.
Bring the World Cup game, isn't it?
Somewhere Pele is smiling. Or Alexi Lawless. I'll bring myself up to date.
There you go.
I got to get current now. Ralph Tam. He's played for a few teams in this league.
He is. You know, you mentioned John Elway in his statistics in the first half. Well, he did have the touchdown dropped, and that one was off the fingertips there of Mike Pritchard. He's had a couple balls dropped. But again, as we mentioned earlier, they play ugly, or he can play ugly. So same with Kelley. And then just when you count them out, they can beat you with one pass in the 4th quarter. So I've seen this a lot of Elway. He takes a while to get in rhythm. He can play ugly, then boom, boom. Next thing you know, the game's over.
Bruce Smith, who, believe it or not, is playing in Mile High Stadium for the first time ever. First time that Buffalo has been here since 1977. But one of those little facts that people tend to overlook, I certainly did, he signed with Denver in 1989. And to his surprise and the Broncos' surprise, Buffalo matched the 5-year multi-million-dollar offer, and he stayed in Buffalo.
There's a lot of guys. Gary Zimmerman wishes he would have been a Bronco, but I want to tell you, Jim Kelley and some other guys are delighted to have him on his side. And he's had his usual very strong first half. He's been a disruptor, much like Michael Dean Perry has for the Broncos.
Jason Elam will kick off. Script kick. That's taken by Tyndale at the 30-yard line. And he moves it out to the 42 on the last play of the first half. So Mike Shannahan has called on Jason Elam to author 5 first-half field goals. He converted 4 of them. Marv Levy's bunch trails at the half. 12-9. Broncos up. 12-7, rather.
You want on TNT is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible 4-wheel drives, and by Steel Outdoor Power Tools. As good as you thought, priced less than you think.
Halftime at Mile High Stadium in Denver, where the Broncos